Back then, after his successful core formation, Liu Xuanfeng had entered a small secret realm controlled by the Purple Mist sect. He had made some gains in the secret realm. Upon his return, he had immediately entered seclusion, only emerging today after breaking through to the middle stage of Golden Core. He had been in high spirits, brimming with confidence. But now, the news of Li Chang'an's core formation filled him with such unease that the smile vanished from his face. A loose cultivator with a low-grade spirit root actually managed to reach core formation, and he even formed a true pill. As Liu Xuanfeng listened to the various reports, his expression grew increasingly grim. Years ago he had tasked Wang Xiao, Pu Jai, and the others with killing Li Chang'an. But the soul lamps of all five had since been extinguished. This day, the Purple Mist sect had not determined the cause of their deaths. It must have been Li Chang'an. Liu Xuanfeng clenched his fists. His Tier 3 Earth Dragon, Wang Xiao, and the other four, they had all died under mysterious circumstances, and all of them had been at odds with Li Chang'an. He couldn't think of any other culprit besides Li Chang'an. For Li Chang'an to reach core formation with a low-grade spirit root, he must have stumbled upon a heaven-defying opportunity. Perhaps that opportunity included a lethal treasure, powerful enough to help him slay a middle-stage Golden Core cultivator. At this thought, Liu Xuanfeng could no longer sit still. He transformed into a streak of light and shot off to find his father. His father, Liu Xianxia, possessed a late-stage Golden Core cultivation. The pill he had formed was a half-step immortal Golden Core, making him one of the Purple Mist sect's saint children with a chance at nascent soul formation. Father, I want to go to the southern domain. Why not spend more time cultivating within the sect? Liu Xianxia asked, a puzzled look on his face. Xuanfeng, you just broke through to the middle stage of Golden Core. You should be consolidating your cultivation. Is there some urgent matter? Father, I need to kill a loose cultivator from the southern domain. Liu Xuanfeng held nothing back, immediately explaining the conflict between him and Li Chang'an. After hearing the story, Liu Xianxia fell into a long, thoughtful silence. The 10,000 Demon Blood Stone, a foundation establishment cultivator defeating a Golden Core, a great opportunity. The very word opportunity was alluring, and even a saint child from a nascent soul major sect like Liu Xianxia was no exception. Although he had a chance at nascent soul formation, his odds of success were minuscule. If he could obtain a great opportunity, perhaps he could advance further on his path of cultivation and touch the nascent soul threshold. Xuanfeng, this Li Chang'an is no simple character. I will go with you. After we kill him, we'll head to the ancient ruined secret realm at the border of the southern and western domains. We, father and son, will seek out an opportunity for nascent soul together. Liu Xianxia had made his decision. Before long, the two of them transformed into streaks of light, departing from the Purple Mist sect and heading straight for Chang'an Mountain in the southern domain. Meanwhile, on Chang'an Mountain, within the courtyard, Li Chang'an saw Jiang Xunyuan off. Take care, senior. HN. Jiang Xunyuan gave a slight nod and vanished over the horizon in an instant. Before departing, he swept his nascent soul divine sense across all of Chang'an Mountain to ensure that Huangsha True Monarch hadn't left any hidden measures behind. For a Golden Core cultivator, any trap left by a nascent soul True Monarch would be fatal. Fortunately, Chang'an Mountain was completely clean, inside and out. Thus, a nascent soul level crisis was averted. Although Li Chang'an was unharmed, he yearned even more for nascent soul power. In the current cultivation immortality realm, only by reaching the nascent soul realm could one truly leap the dragon gate and join the ranks of the powerful elite. Nascent soul. Li Chang'an took a deep breath, about to return to secluded cultivation. Just then Su Fugui suddenly arrived on the mountain. Patting his round belly, his face ruddy and glowing, he was completely oblivious to the fact that a confrontation between nascent soul true monarchs had just taken place on Chang'an Mountain. Big brother, your 150th birthday is almost here. Are you planning to host a banquet? Oh, is it that time already? Prompted by the reminder, Li Chang'an calculated the time. Indeed, it was almost upon him. Time flows differently in cultivation. His 100th birthday felt like it was only yesterday, yet in the blink of an eye, 50 years had passed. 150 years old. Li Chang'an stood with his hands clasped behind his back, gazing out at the vast world below Chang'an Mountain, and couldn't help but feel a surge of emotion. He recalled how, 100 years ago, he had still been struggling in the chi refining stage. But now he was an exalted golden core ancestor. Of the many friends who had set out to seek immortality with him back then, many had not been heard from since. If they had failed to reach foundation establishment, they would have all passed away by now. Though his cultivation was now high, in the grand scheme of the vast heavens and earth, he was but a drop in the ocean. Chang'an gazed at the deep, vast sky, the reflective feelings in his heart growing ever stronger. A moment later, he slowly closed his eyes, standing perfectly still in the courtyard for a long time. Seeing this, Su Fugui did not disturb him and quietly retreated to the side. Could Big Brother be having another epiphany? He scratched his head, unable to comprehend what was happening. About an hour later, a profound and mysterious aura suddenly emanated from Chang'an. Su Fugui was astonished to discover that, although Chang'an was standing right before him, he suddenly felt as if he were separated by an immeasurable distance. What's going on? In his eyes, Chang'an was clearly still in the same spot, not having moved at all. But that mystical aura shrouded Chang'an in a hazy, ethereal quality, making him seem as if he had transcended this world and no longer existed within it. It wasn't just Su Fugui. Even the two spirit pets, Ziohai and Dawang and Jiang Muyu, who was standing nearby, couldn't comprehend the change that was taking place. They could only be sure of one thing: this change was a good one. It meant no harm for Chang'an. Before they knew it, another hour had passed. Chang'an slowly opened his eyes. They had grown even more profound, and his entire aura was so mystical and mysterious that he no longer seemed like an ordinary cultivator. Tier 4 divination skill. Just now, that profound sense of time's passage had plunged him into a state of epiphany. This epiphany had caused his divination skill to surge, allowing him to smoothly cross the threshold into Tier 4. He was now a Tier 4 divination grandmaster. Chapter 645, Chapter 315, Tier 4 skills killing invisibly. If he could enter the great Jin immortal dynasty palace again, he would certainly be able to retrieve more treasures. Unfortunately, the palace had already collapsed, and all the treasures had flown into a rift and vanished. Tier 4 divination is incredibly profound. I now have at least a fighting chance against a nascent soul true monarch. Chang'an's will stirred, and the profound mechanisms of the world around him were instantly thrown into chaos. Although Chang'an Mountain looked unchanged, it was now suffused with a strange, eerie power of divination. Even a nascent soul true monarch would be bewildered for a long time upon arrival. This was one of the abilities of a Tier 4 divination grandmaster. Confusing profound mechanism. The methods of divination could kill a person without leaving a trace. Even though my divination skill has reached Tier 4, I still haven't fully grasped everything from that Tier 4 low-grade divination inheritance. I must continue my training. Chang'an waved his hand, retracting all his divination arts. The profound aura emanating from him receded, and in an instant he returned to his former state. Just then Su Fugui asked curiously, "Big Brother, what happened just now? You were right in front of me, but I felt like you disappeared." "Just a few tricks to save my skin, nothing worth mentioning." Chang'an just smiled, not offering any further explanation. For Su Fugui, who was only in the early stage of foundation establishment, Tier 4 abilities were simply too far beyond his comprehension. Afterward, he and Su Fugui began to discuss the birthday banquet. A 150th birthday celebration. Even for a core formation cultivator, this was a significant milestone. But Chang'an didn't much care. He still had over 1,000 years to live. Gu Qinghang and the others are still fighting on the border between the two domains, so not many people will probably come this time. Let's just keep it simple. The discussion quickly concluded. Su Fugui hurried off to prepare for the banquet. A few days later, he quickly prepared the wine and spiritual cuisine for the banquet and sent invitations to the various major powers. Not long after, Su Fugui returned to the mountain. He looked crestfallen and said to Chang'an, "Big Brother, while I was delivering the invitations, I ran into Master Mu Yan of the Red Flame sect. I asked if he wanted to come to your banquet, but he just told me to get lost." Mu Yan, all right, I understand. Chang'an wasn't surprised by Mu Yan's attitude. Years ago, before he had reached core formation, Mu Yan had helped Xianxia attempt to break the array on Chang'an Mountain. Now, Xianxia had been refined into a puppet by Chang'an, but Mu Yan was still alive and had yet to show the slightest intention of apologizing. The elder sect leader of the Red Flame sect, Chang'an, had, on the other hand, privately sent Chang'an a gift as an apology. That old fool Mu Yan recently had a breakthrough in the array Dao, becoming a Tier 3 top-grade array master. That must be the source of his arrogance. Chang'an was lost in thought. This is a perfect opportunity to test the power of my Tier 4 divination skill on that old fool. Meanwhile, outside the mountain gate of the Red Flame sect, Mu Yan was about to head to the war zone between the two domains to seek his fortune in an ancient ruined secret realm. Xianxia frowned and tried to persuade him. Taoist Mu, Chang'an's birthday is approaching. Banquets are always festive occasions. You should take this opportunity to give him a gift and apologize. The incident from all those years ago should be put to rest. Why should I apologize? I was just getting paid to do a job. What was wrong with that? Mu Yan's attitude was unyielding. Now that he was a Tier 3 top-grade array master, he felt not the slightest fear of Chang'an. Even if Chang'an were also a Tier 3 top-grade array master, he couldn't do a thing to him. Because of this, he had no intention of apologizing and no plans to attend Chang'an's banquet. Ignoring Xianxia's advice, he transformed into a streak of light and departed, heading for the ancient ruined secret realm on the border of the two domains. My luck has been incredible lately. I feel it's at its peak. I'm bound to find some great opportunities on this trip. Mu Yan's desire to pursue the Tao was strong, and he still held out a sliver of hope of reaching the nascent soul realm. He, too, wanted to find an opportunity that would lead to the nascent soul realm. However, the trip did not go at all as he had expected. Not long after entering the ancient ruined secret realm, he carelessly walked into a trap. It took considerable effort for him to escape. He thought it was just a fluke, but then he immediately stumbled into another trap. After that, Mu Yan fell into more than 10 traps in a row. He was covered in wounds and utterly exhausted. The moment he finally struggled free from one trap, he ran straight into several Tier 3 demon kings hunting human race cultivators. After a fierce battle, Mu Yan's injuries worsened, and he barely managed to escape from the demon kings. But before he could find a place to tend to his wounds, he accidentally stumbled into a perilous area. What is going on? Mu Yan's expression turned grim as he looked up at the sky. In the unseen world, it felt as if a great, invisible hand was secretly manipulating everything. But no matter how he tried to sense it, he couldn't detect anything unusual. It was as if everything that had happened was just a coincidence. After a while, by using every trick up his sleeve, he finally escaped the perilous area. But before he could even catch his breath, he ran into several golden core masters from the western domain. Another fierce battle erupted. Mu Yan barely escaped with his life, but was grievously wounded. He pushed his potential to its limit and exhausted all his means to escape the secret realm, pursued by the golden core masters from the western domain. After that, Mu Yan fled frantically. He didn't dare to stop for even a moment, terrified of running into more danger. Running on fumes, he managed to escape all the way back to the heartland of the southern domain. When he finally felt a flicker of safety, he realized he had fled to a very familiar place. Chang'an Mountain. Mu Yan's heart trembled. How did I end up here without even realizing it? And just then, a placid voice sounded beside his ear. Taoist Mu, it has been many years. Chang'an, it was you. Mu Yan was no fool. He quickly put the pieces together. Everything he had suffered was all inextricably linked to Chang'an. How do you possess such an ability? Chapter 646, Chapter 315, Tier 4 Skill Killing Without a Trace. Mu Yan's mind reeled. He refused to believe it, but a terrifying answer gradually took shape in his thoughts. He had heard stories. A Tier 4 divination grandmaster could influence the tides of fate, killing someone without a trace. Now the Chang'an before him looked the same as always, yet he was shrouded in a mysterious aura, his eyes as profound as a galaxy. Chang'an, you've become a Tier 4 divination grandmaster. You are clever, Taoist Mu. Chang'an smiled faintly. The miserable state Mu Yan was in was the direct result of Chang'an manipulating fate. This ability had some effect even on a nascent soul true monarch, let alone a golden core master like Mu Yan. To think you hid your power so well. Mu Yan's face paled, the disbelief in his heart slowly twisting into terror. Even his voice began to tremble slightly. Facing a Tier 4 divination grandmaster was different from facing a nascent soul true monarch, but to him, the outcome was the same. There's no escaping death. At this thought, he couldn't help but be filled with regret. If he had known earlier that Li Chang'an was a grandmaster, he would have listened to Xianxia's advice and taken the initiative to apologize. Judging by Li Chang'an's past behavior, if he had apologized voluntarily, he probably would have been able to save his own life. But now his chance was gone. Li Chang'an, no. Taoist Li, Grandmaster Li, please spare my life. Mu Yan was on the verge of despair, but he still clung to a sliver of hope, his voice trembling as he pleaded. I have a Tier 3 high-grade array skill. I'm willing to become your servant and guard the Tier 3 array on Chang'an Mountain for you. That won't be necessary. Your array Dao skill, which has barely reached the Tier 3 top grade, is of no use to me. Hearing this, Mu Yan's entire body trembled. He knew his earlier suspicion had been correct. Li Chang'an was already a Tier 3 top grade array master. What kind of heaven-defying talent would allow someone to possess a Tier 4 divination skill and simultaneously have the energy to cultivate a Tier 3 array Dao skill? Mu Yan's face was ashen. Why did I have to provoke a celestial pride like him? Before he could speak again, a streak of green light flew into his body, transforming into a wood seed just below his heart. In the blink of an eye, Mu Yan had become a wood seed puppet. Mu Yan's strength isn't bad. With his middle-stage golden core cultivation and Tier 3 high-grade array skill, he should be able to find some good opportunities in the ancient ruins secret realm by coordinating with Yi Mengxian, He Qianqian, and the other puppets. With a thought, Li Chang'an controlled Mu Yan, making him return to the Red Flame sect to heal. Before long, he saw Xianxian, the elder sect leader of the Red Flame sect. Taoist Xing, I've thought things through. What happened back then was indeed my fault. He had Mu Yan say that he wanted to go with Xianxian to the birthday banquet to apologize to Li Chang'an. Hearing this, a smile spread across Xianxian's face. It's good that you've come to your senses, Taoist Mu. Come with me to the treasure vault and we'll pick out some treasures. The apology gift cannot be of too low a tier. A moment later, the two of them went to the Red Flame sect's treasure vault together. Among the three great sects, the Red Flame sect was the weakest. The current Red Flame sect had fewer golden core masters than even the Dan Valley Zio family. Naturally, its sect treasure vault didn't contain many valuables, and it couldn't compare to Mandarin Duck Valley, which Li Chang'an had previously plundered. However, there were a few heaven and earth anomalous fires inside that made Li Chang'an take a second look. Qingqing could absorb these heaven and earth anomalous fires to strengthen her foundation for core formation. Li Chang'an performed a quick divination and sensed that the day of Zhang Qingqing's core formation was not far off. Zhang Qingqing had reached foundation establishment even earlier than he had. The reason she had yet to achieve core formation was that her spiritual root's aptitude was holding her back. With her talent from a middle-grade spirit root, it was already quite an accomplishment for her to have come this far. If she successfully reaches core formation, she can walk the path of cultivation with me for several hundred more years. It's a good thing she didn't choose to guard the marketplace for her family back then. If Zhang Qingqing had chosen to guard the marketplace, her cultivation would likely only be at the middle stage of foundation establishment by now. Li Chang'an waved a hand, collecting the few anomalous fires. He had Mu Yan say to Xianxian, I've heard that Taoist Li has a female friend who needs heaven and earth anomalous fires. Let's use these to apologize to him. Excellent. Xianxian had no objections and nodded in agreement. Before long, Li Chang'an's 150th birthday banquet began. Due to the war between the two realms, many golden core masters were still at the front lines, engaged in magical combat with the golden cores from the Western domain. They couldn't attend in person and could only have their disciples deliver gifts. This birthday banquet was not as boisterous as his core formation ceremony. Li Chang'an was quite happy about this. After all, even though these people didn't show up, their gifts certainly did. Halfway through the banquet, Li Chang'an had Mu Yan put on a public show of apology. He accepted the apology gift and publicly declared, I am focused solely on my cultivation and have no desire for conflict. From this day forward, the grudge between Taoist Mu and myself is wiped clean. This declaration was in line with the persona he had always projected. Chang'an and the others from the Red Flame sect breathed a sigh of relief. They had a decent amount of faith in Li Chang'an's character. Meanwhile, the few Golden Core masters from the 10,000 Swords sect had complicated expressions. Sigh, if Taoist Nai and Taoist Du had apologized to Taoist Li sooner, perhaps things would have ended differently. Especially Taoist Du. Like Mu Yan, he was only invited to deal with the array on Chang'an Mountain. There was no deep-seated hatred between him and Taoist Li. They all felt a sense of regret. Just as they were lost in thought, a streak of purple light suddenly flashed across the sky. Immediately after, a purple flying ship appeared before everyone's eyes. It's a flying ship from the Purple Mist sect. Back when Taoist Li achieved his core formation, the Purple Mist sect sent their congratulations. Everyone was a little surprised, and also a bit envious. It was clear that Li Chang'an had an excellent relationship with the Purple Mist sect. Aboard the flying ship were Zai Yun, and other cultivators from the Purple Mist sect. Zai Yun, a charming smile on her face, couldn't wait. She transformed into a streak of light and landed on Chang'an Mountain, beaming as she presented a gift. Taoist Li, I spent a long time picking out this gift. You'll definitely like it. Go on, take it. Thank you, Taoist Zai. Li Chang'an reached out to take the gift and extended his divine sense into it. He immediately understood. No wonder Zai Yun said he would definitely like it. Inside was actually a Tier 3 life-extending treasure that could extend one's life by 30 years. Life-extending treasures that had reached Tier 3 were extremely rare. None could be found in the treasure vaults of the various sects and families. After all, it was a matter concerning one's lifespan. Most Golden Core masters were reluctant to simply toss a life-extending treasure into their sect treasure vault. Chapter 647, Chapter 316, The Anomaly of the Stone Eye Accepting the Spirit Body. As expected of the Purple Mist sect, so generous. Li Chang'an marveled to himself. If it were him, he couldn't bear to part with such a precious treasure. In terms of value, this treasure was in no way inferior to the treasure armor he had once given Zai Yun. In fact, it might even be more valuable. He put it away carefully and thanked her solemnly. Many thanks, Taoist Zai. It's nothing, I'm just glad you like it. Zai Yun's smile was lovely and her eyes were bright. Her purple dress fluttered gently, and she carried a faint, sweet fragrance. Behind her, the flying ship came to a steady halt. Zai and the other Purple Mist sect cultivators landed one by one on Chang'an Mountain, each presenting a congratulatory gift. After their previous encounters, Li Chang'an was already quite familiar with them. Just as he was about to invite everyone to take their seats, he suddenly sensed something and looked toward the distant horizon. At almost the same time, Zai's eyes shifted, and she also gazed into the distance. What is it? Zai Yun asked, a little curious. Her voice had barely faded, when she, Wu Xiu, and the others also detected two familiar auras. A moment later, two streaks of light tore across the sky, arriving at Chang'an Mountain in an instant and transforming into two figures. It was the father and son pair, Liu Xuanfeng and Liu Heichao. The two had intended to attack Li Chang'an and capture him directly, but the presence of Zai and her group on Chang'an Mountain forced them to change their plans. Their gazes fell upon Li Chang'an, full of scrutiny, as if trying to see through his true strength. Meanwhile, Li Chang'an was also sizing up the father and son. Liu Xuanfeng's cultivation progress isn't slow. He's already reached the middle stage of Golden Core. It seems he's had some significant opportunities. As for his father, Liu Heichao, his aura is similar to Wei Su of the Yellow Sand sect. Their strength should be about the same. Li Chang'an judged silently. Like Wei Su, Liu Heichao was an ordinary saint child. Although he had a chance at nascent soul formation, it was far from that of Zai or Gu Yunqi. Li Chang'an knew these two were unwelcome guests, but he still stepped forward and cupped his hands in a fist. What brings you two here? Nothing in particular. Liu Heichao's tone was indifferent as he gave a cursory reply. At the same time, he secretly sent a sound transmission to Zai. Taoist Zai, this Li Chang'an killed a member of my Purple Mist sect. I intend to apprehend him for questioning. I ask that you do not stand in my way. Who did he kill? Zai had long known about the conflict between Li Chang'an and Liu Xuanfeng, so she didn't take Liu Heichao's one-sided story at face value. Liu Heichao replied, Wang Xiao, Pu Jai and the others. The cause of their deaths is suspicious, and they had a conflict with Li Chang'an before they died. All 5 of them were golden core cultivators. Wang Xiao was a genius at the middle stage of golden core, capable of fighting a late-stage opponent. How could Li Chang'an have killed him? With a supreme treasure in hand, it's possible. Liu Heichao immediately listed various possibilities. But Zai paid him no mind, saying coolly, there is no evidence for this matter. Leave. Her stance was clear. Faced with this, Liu Heichao was helpless. If it came to blows, he was no match for Zai at all, let alone trying to take Li Chang'an away right under her nose. Having no other choice, the father and son could only retreat for now. They transformed into 2 streaks of light, flying far from Chang'an Mountain and heading straight for the ancient ruins' secret realm at the border of the 2 domains. Li Chang'an cupped his hands and said, Many thanks, Saintess. It was a small matter. Those 2 are resentful and will likely return to deal with you. You should be careful. Yes. Li Chang'an appeared solemn, but in reality, he wasn't too concerned. If those 2 dare to force their way onto Chang'an Mountain, I'll just make sure they never leave. He smiled and invited Zai and the others to take their seats. The atmosphere of the banquet was not disrupted by this small interruption. The mood on Chang'an Mountain remained harmonious and celebratory. During the banquet, Gu Qinghang and others arrived one after another. They reported that the war between the 2 domains had temporarily halted. The Yellow Sand Sect's saint child, Gu Yunqi, had gathered many golden core masters from the western domain and seemed to be discussing something. They had not taken the opportunity to continue their attack and were planning to rest and reorganize for a few days. I wonder what the western domain is plotting. I have a bad feeling about this. I'm afraid it's nothing good. Round the tables, everyone conversed with one another, a hint of worry in their voices. Li Chang'an, however, knew the truth. The many hundred beasts sect golden core masters and tier 3 beast kings under his control had all participated in the Western Domain's council. In a secret chamber, Wei Su had announced in front of everyone that the Yellow Sand Sect would formally intervene in the war between the 2 domains, providing aid to the Western Domain. The Yellow Sand Sect is planning to enter the fray. Li Chang'an mused silently, glancing at Zai. It seems the day the Purple Mist Sect makes its move isn't far off either. Sure enough, after the banquet ended, Zai gathered everyone to accompany her to the Cyan Cloud Sect for a council. Everyone come with me. Hearing this, everyone exchanged glances, vaguely guessing the truth. Soon, all the Golden Core Masters had landed on the flying ship. They each used their communication treasures to inform the other Southern Domain Golden Core cultivators, who had not yet arrived to head to the Cyan Cloud Sect. Before long, the flying ship approached the Cyan Cloud Sect. Outside the Cyan Cloud Sect's mountain gate, several thousand mortals were undergoing spiritual root testing. Seeing this scene, Chang'an laughed. Back then, this was the very place where Taoist Li was rejected by the people of the Cyan Cloud Sect. At these words, Gu Qinghang couldn't help but grow angry. Xing, the ghost that was so many years ago, why bring it up now? Because I feel like it. Chang'an, grinning from ear to ear, recounted the story of Li Chang'an's rejection with great animation. He hadn't been there at the time, but he spoke as if he had witnessed it firsthand, telling a fabricated version of the events for all to hear. Most of the others present wore smiles on their faces. Although the incident was long in the past, everyone was reminded of it whenever they came to the Cyan Cloud Sect, and bringing it up had become something of a tradition. Just then, a blinding, multicolored light suddenly erupted from the spirit testing stone below. Immediately after, gasps of astonishment rang out from the crowd. Chapter 648, Chapter 316, The Anomaly of the Stone Eye Accepting the Spirit Body. An Earth Spirit Root. It's actually an Earth Spirit Root. The ancestors be blessed. Our Cyan Cloud Sect has gained another genius with an Earth Spirit Root. The few Foundation establishment elders in charge of testing spiritual roots all had excited smiles on their faces. A celestial pride with an Earth Spirit Root had an extremely high chance of forming a golden core, as long as nothing unexpected happened. In front of the mountain gate, Thousands of mortals were both shocked and envious, their gazes all fixed on that celestial pride. She was a little girl of about 6 or 7, dressed in fine brocade clothes. Aboard the flying ship, Zai suddenly spoke. Her talent isn't bad. She can become a disciple of my purple mist sect. As she spoke, she controlled the flying ship, causing it to descend slowly. Clearly, she intended to recruit this genius with the earth spirit root into the purple mist sect. Gu Qinghang's face twitched, and he wished he could slap those joyfully exclaiming Foundation establishment elders below to death. If those elders had managed to recruit the little girl into the Cyan Cloud sect in time, perhaps Zai wouldn't have had this sudden idea. But they were too busy celebrating and forgot what was important. Although Gu Qinghang's heart ached at the loss, he couldn't stop her. A moment later, the flying ship landed before the mountain gate. The crowd of mortals all bowed low, their faces filled with a mixture of fear and reverence. Greetings, immortal. Zai paid them no mind and flew before the little girl in brocade. Are you willing to join my purple mist sect? The purple mist sect. The little girl wasn't old, but her eyes held a cunning glint. She caught the shocked and helpless expressions on the faces of the Foundation establishment elders and realized the purple mist sect was stronger than the Cyan Cloud sect. She immediately knelt and declared in a loud voice, "Greetings, Master. You're quite clever." Zai hadn't originally planned to take a disciple, only to recruit her into the sect. Seeing how clever and quick-witted she was, she changed her mind. Very well, you can be my registered disciple. She gently raised her jade-like hand and sent a ray of spiritual light into the little girl's sea of consciousness. Then she brought her onto the flying ship. The flying ship didn't take off again, but remained quietly parked outside the mountain gate. Don't tell me the purple mist sect plans to take all the geniuses from this batch. Everyone thought to themselves. Liang Chang and the other Cyan Cloud sect golden core masters were filled with helplessness. They didn't dare to object and could only watch in silence. Before the mountain gate, the mortals came forward one by one. Most had no spiritual root. A few had spiritual roots, but they were almost all inferior or low-grade spirit roots. Even middle spirit roots were rare. It's already good for one genius to appear in a batch of mortals. There probably won't be a second one. Not long after, a little girl in tattered clothes, filthy from head to toe, walked up to the spirit testing stone. With her head bowed, she timidly extended a small hand and placed it on the spirit testing stone. An instant later, the spirit testing stone emitted a faint, colorful glow. The Foundation establishment elder in charge of the test glanced at her and said flatly, "Low-grade gold spirit root, average talent but you're still young. You may join our Cyan Cloud." Before he could finish his sentence, a figure suddenly appeared before his eyes. He hurriedly clasped his hands in a salute. "Greetings, Elder Li." Li Chang'an nodded slightly, his gaze falling on the beggar-like little girl. His voice was gentle as he asked, "Are you willing to enter my Chang'an mountain?" Hearing this, everyone on the flying ship was a little surprised. They knew that for all these years, Li Chang'an had neither descendants nor disciples, always focusing on his own path of cultivation. All of Chang'an Mountain was cold and deserted. Why would he suddenly want to recruit disciples today? Gu Qinghang frowned slightly and used an illusion-breaking treasure to inspect the little girl. It really is a low-grade spirit root. There's nothing special about it. Indeed, the little girl's talent is very ordinary. Even if Taoist Li put all his effort into cultivating her, she would struggle to reach core formation. At most, she could reach the late stage of Foundation establishment. Xianxia nodded slightly. He had also used an illusion-breaking treasure. It wasn't just the two of them. The others also used their own methods, trying to see what was different about this little girl, but none of them found anything. A trace of purple flashed through Zai's ethereal eyes, and she quickly retracted her gaze. A low-grade spirit root, there's no mistake. She hadn't noticed anything unusual either, and was also puzzled as to why Li Chang'an wanted to take the little girl. With Li Chang'an's current reputation, if he wanted to take a disciple, he only needed to say the word, and geniuses with top-grade spirit roots would most likely come flocking to become his apprentice. Little did they know that even if a genius with a top-grade spirit root truly appeared, Li Chang'an couldn't be bothered with them. The reason he had taken a liking to this little girl was because of her constitution. Earlier, he had used his stone eye and discovered a silvery white light inside the little girl's body. After that, he had quietly sent out wisps of his divine sense to enter the girl's body. After searching several times, he found a silvery white symbol. It should be a special kind of spirit body. Chang'an had always been very interested in the mysteries of spirit bodies. Xianxia had a green symbol in her body, while Xianxia had a gold one. This little girl's silvery white symbol gave him a strange feeling, a sense of nihility, as if it were related to void power. Worried that Zai and the others would notice something was amiss, he hadn't touched it, planning instead to first bring her to Chang'an Mountain. The little girl didn't hesitate at all. She immediately knelt and, copying the celestial pride with the earth spirit root from before, shouted, "Greetings, Master. I am not taking disciples. You can come to my Chang'an Mountain and watch over the library pavilion." Chang'an raised his hand and pointed, sending a ray of spiritual light flying into the little girl's sea of consciousness. This ray of spiritual light contained a celestial grade technique, several celestial grade magic arts, and a vast amount of cultivation insights. A start like this was enough to make countless geniuses burn with envy. Afterward, Chang'an took her and returned to the flying ship. Gu Qinghong said to him, "Taoist Li, this old man has a descendant with a top-grade wood spirit root. If you have any intention of taking a disciple, I can have him become your apprentice." "Taoist Gu, you misunderstand. I truly have no intention of taking a disciple." Chapter 649, Chapter 316, The Peculiarity of the Stone Eye Taking in the Spirit Body. Chang'an could see the confusion on the faces of Gu Qinghong and the others. He explained, "This little girl looks just like a childhood friend of mine from back in the mortal realm." So that's why. Understanding dawned on everyone. She was simply a flower that looked like one he once knew. With countless mortal realms and billions of living beings, it was inevitable that a face would appear resembling someone from the past. Most of them had experienced something similar. From their reactions, Chang'an determined that none of them had detected the girl's hidden spirit body. Even Zai didn't see it. He was secretly relieved, but also a little puzzled. As the saintess of the Purple Mist sect, Zai should have a high-tier illusion-breaking treasure on her. Chang'an's stone eye was only a Tier 3 middle-grade treasure, but it could reveal the girl's abnormality. Why couldn't Zai see it? It's not an issue with Zai, but with the stone eye. Chang'an mused to himself. The stone eye's special qualities had shown themselves years ago. According to ancient records, even the Tier 4 methods of many nascent soul major sects couldn't see through Mo Qingquang's bloodline. But the stone eye, a mere Tier 3 treasure, had allowed Chang'an to identify cultivators who had been implanted with the bloodline. This thing is a bit strange. It doesn't seem like a refined magical treasure, it's more like a real eye. After a moment of thought, Chang'an quietly put the stone eye away. In any case, the item was still beneficial to him now, so there was no need to delve too deeply into its origins. He looked down and asked the little girl, "What's your name?" "Senior I don't have a name, everyone just calls me Little Ewer." The little girl was a bit timid as she spoke of her past. She was indeed a beggar and had been wandering for as long as she could remember, suffering constantly from hunger and exhaustion. The reason she wanted to pursue cultivation immortality was because she had heard that immortals didn't need to eat. They could feast on rosy clouds and consume qi. It's true that immortals don't go hungry. Chang'an smiled. He cast a water element technique, washing the dirt and grime from her body and draping a brand new white robe over her. Little Ewer's eyes brightened. Her small hands clutched the robe, which felt as fine as silk, and a look of pure joy appeared on her delicate little face. Soon, the test outside the mountain gate was over. Aside from the one with the earth spirit root and Little Ewer, only 2 others had spiritual roots that reached middle grade. The rest all had mediocre talent. Zai didn't linger. She controlled the flying ship and entered the Cyan Cloud sect. Next, everyone took their seats in the main hall of the Cyan Cloud sect. Zai sat in the host seat and explained the Purple Mist sect's decision to the assembly. The ancient ruined secret realm is filled with opportunities. The Purple Mist sect has decided to compete for it. Everyone had their suspicions before, and now that it was finally confirmed, they all breathed a sigh of relief. The Purple Mist sect is finally willing to make a move. The Yellow Sand sect has long since entered the fray. As Xianxia true monarch's disciple, she who master shouldn't have interfered in the affairs of the 2 domains. Thankfully, the saintess eliminated Shihu Master for us. The crowd spoke up one after another, all expressing their support. Hearing their words, the expressions of the many golden core masters from the Purple Mist sect turned a little strange. When had Zai acted to kill Shihu Master? Clearly, there was a misunderstanding. Zai spoke calmly. Everyone, you've misunderstood. The death of Shihu Master has nothing to do with the Purple Mist sect. Chang'an asked, Saintess, wasn't it you who acted in secret to relieve the pressure on us? No, we never acted. This. Everyone looked at each other, completely baffled. If not Zai, then who could it be? In the entire southern domain, no one could have killed Shihu Master so quickly. The matter is not yet settled. Zai spoke again, denying any connection to the incident. Everyone understood that given her status, if she had really been the one to kill him, there would be no reason to deny it. No one knew that Chang'an, sitting in the corner, was the true culprit who had killed Shihu Master. Chang'an had no intention of revealing this fact. He didn't join the conversation, but simply pondered the matter of the spirit body. Is it possible to seize those special symbols and turn myself into a spirit body? He had pondered this question for many years. He naturally wanted to become a spirit body and gain a faster cultivation speed. Unfortunately, he had never succeeded over the years. Beside him, little Yuer was talking with the little girl in brocade clothes. The little girl in brocade said, Little Yuer, my name is Song Xianglin. Since you don't have a name, why don't you take my family name? How about we call you Song Yuer from now on? Little Yuer looked a little lost, then thought about it carefully. Song Yuer? That's right, what do you think? From now on, you'll be part of my Song family. My Song family gets to eat their fill at every meal. A hint of pride appeared on Song Xianglin's little face. It was clear that her family held a high status in the mortal realm. Little Yuer, your spiritual root is too poor, so you won't get far on the path of cultivation. But don't worry, we entered the cultivation realm in the same group. I'll protect you from now on. Thank you, Sister Xianglin. After the two little ones had their chat, little Yuer tugged on the corner of Chang'an's sleeve and asked timidly, Senior, can I have the surname Song? You can. Chang'an Mountain doesn't have many rules. You can have whatever surname you want. Chang'an didn't care about such things. He had only taken the little girl in to explore the secrets of the spirit body. A nascent soul influence should have more records regarding spirit bodies. I'll ask Muyu first. At this thought, Chang'an activated the blood-dripping incarnation he had left on Chang'an Mountain. He was just about to go find Jiang Muyu. Just then, he suddenly sensed someone spying on Chang'an Mountain. Wei Su. Chang'an caught a trace of a familiar aura. Besides Wei Su, there were 3 other unfamiliar auras. It seems Xianxia, true monarch's killing intent toward me hasn't faded. He must have urged his disciple to act. Chang'an wasn't worried. If Wei Su dared to come, he would give him a taste of a Tier 4 divination technique. However, the man was Xianxia, true monarch's disciple, after all. He couldn't let him die on Chang'an Mountain. I need to find a scapegoat. Chang'an thought for a moment, his gaze turning toward the border of the 2 domains. Liu Xuanfeng's father, Liu Heichao, the saint child of the Purple Mist sect, was quite powerful and would make a good candidate. Meanwhile, Wei Su was also deep in thought. He hid in the shadows, sizing up the entire Chang'an Mountain. To deal with Chang'an Mountain, he had invited 3 Tier 3 top-grade array masters from the Yellow Sand sect. You 3, are you confident you can break this array on Chang'an Mountain? The 3 exchanged a look before giving their answer. Breaking it won't be difficult, but it will most likely cause a commotion. Once we break the array, are you confident you can end the fight quickly, Saint Child? Chapter 650, Chapter 317, Heaven and Earth Shifting, Wei Su collapses. The 3 array masters all had their reservations. This place was the heartland of the southern domain. If they caused too much of a commotion, it would surely attract other golden core masters from the southern domain. Furthermore, Chang'an was on good terms with Zai. They feared that if they couldn't kill him quickly, Zai would be drawn to intervene. By then, the matter would become troublesome. It was even possible that the 3 of them would be trapped here. Rest assured, Wei Su promised, brimming with confidence. As long as we break the Chang'an Mountain array, I can kill that Chang'an in 10 breaths at most. 10 breaths. The 3 array masters conferred privately and decided the plan was feasible. With Wei Su's cultivation at the late stage of golden core, killing a loose cultivator like Li Chang'an, who was only at the early stage of golden core, might not even take 10 breaths. However, to be on the safe side, they didn't break the array directly. Saint Child, we will set up a concealing array here to mask the commotion from your battle with Li Chang'an. Excellent. Wei Su agreed immediately. Soon, the three of them began setting things up around Chang'an Mountain. They thought they were being very secretive. Little did they know. Li Chang'an saw everything. He did not stop them, merely letting them do as they pleased. 3 men here to deliver supplies. Li Chang'an's lips curled into a smirk as he watched them scurry around. That evening, his main body along with Song Yuer quietly returned from the Cyan Cloud sect. Although the blood-dripping incarnation was good, its strength was ultimately not enough. His main body had to act personally. Before long, it was midnight. A golden light appeared before his eyes. Divination has been refreshed. Today's divination, Auspicious. You discover Wei Su attacking the mountain, use divination to capture him, and find the rare treasure, 1000-year earth pattern ginseng in his storage pouch. 1000-year earth pattern ginseng, perfect timing. Li Chang'an's heart stirred. This treasure was one of the core ingredients needed for refining the earth cloud yellow sand pill. He had been worrying that this item was too rare, with very few to be found in the current cultivation immortality realm. And now Wei Su was delivering it right to him. Just as he was thinking this, the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual power suddenly underwent a subtle change. The 3 array masters had joined forces to set up a grand array that blotted out the sky. This array enveloped the entirety of Chang'an Mountain, isolating it from outside perception. It also used an illusion array to maintain Chang'an Mountain's previous appearance, preventing outsiders from noticing anything unusual. This array isn't bad, but there are over a dozen minor points that could be adjusted to make it perfect. Li Chang'an critiqued it to himself. His array Dao skill was higher than these 3, and he could see some of its flaws and loopholes at a glance. The array is complete. They should be making their move now. As expected, just over 10 breaths later, the 3 array masters acted simultaneously, breaking the 5 elements life-generating array on Chang'an Mountain. This array is quite profound. It must have integrated skills from the ancient array Dao. But it's not enough to stop us. Break it quickly, that Li Chang'an must have noticed by now. The 3 of them were extremely well prepared. They simultaneously deployed a counter-array technique, and even used a spherical, Tier 3 top-grade array-breaking treasure. In an instant, the treasure began to glow, its radiance brilliant, like a bright full moon. The entire Chang'an Mountain array ground to a halt in that instant. Break! The 3 of them shouted in unison, driving their prepared array into the 5 elements life-generating array, instantly disrupting its entire flow of spiritual power. At the same time, they moved swiftly, erasing array patterns one by one and snatching away the array treasures. In the blink of an eye, the 5 elements life-generating array was left incomplete and could no longer operate at full power. Li Chang'an, these array treasures of yours aren't bad. We'll be happy to take them off your hands. They knew Li Chang'an must have noticed, given the huge commotion, so they no longer bothered to hide their figures. Before long, the Chang'an Mountain array was completely broken. The entire process was exceedingly smooth, all within the 3's expectations. Saint Child, the array is broken. You can make your move. Good, thank you for your help. A smile appeared on the distant Wei Su's face as he transformed into a streak of light, landing on Chang'an Mountain in an instant. He was just about to shatter Li Chang'an's residence. But in the blink of an eye, he was stunned to find himself back where he started. What's going on? I clearly landed in the courtyard. Why am I back here? He frowned deeply, a sense of unease growing in his heart. This was too strange. Wei Su was very decisive. He stopped trying to attack Chang'an Mountain and immediately transformed into a streak of light, attempting to flee the area. But after another blink, he was back in the same spot again. Wei Su's expression gradually turned ugly. In the mortal realm, there's a saying about ghosts building walls, which was very similar to his current situation. He tried multiple times, using various methods, but he still couldn't leave. It wasn't just him. The other 3 had also noticed something was wrong. Something's wrong. We clearly broke the Chang'an mountain array, so why has it been restored? The world here is strange. Everything is in chaos. We can't stay here long, retreat quickly. The three of them retreated explosively, all transforming into streaks of light and flying towards the edge of the concealing grand array they had set up. But just as they flew out of the grand array, before they even had a chance to rejoice, they found themselves back where they had started. Moreover, they were shocked to discover that the concealing grand array they had set up with their own hands could no longer be controlled by them. How can this be? Could there be a Tier 4 array master here with superior array Dao skill? They couldn't help but suspect that they were trapped within some kind of Tier 4 grand array. Otherwise, there was no explanation for all these strange occurrences. But where would a Tier 4 array master even come from in the southern domain? The three tried many times but were still unable to escape, so they had no choice but to seek help from Wei Su. "Saint Child, do you have any way to escape this place?" They all gathered by Wei Su's side, hoping he could lead them away. Chapter 651, Chapter 317, Heaven and Earth Shifting, Wei Su's Breakdown. Even so, Wei Su was helpless. The array on Chang'an Mountain was clearly broken, yet it repaired itself. That means everything that happened before was an illusion. I've tried to leave this place multiple times, but even after escaping for hundreds of miles, I return in the very next instant. Sometimes, I'm clearly moving forward, but I'm actually going backward. As he recalled the events that had just transpired, Wei Su's heart grew heavier. It was a feeling he knew all too well. Where reality and illusion were indistinguishable, truth and falsehood blurred, and everything was turned upside down. Back then, when he entered the palace in the Great Jin ruins, he had the same feeling. What kind of technique is this? At this moment, Wei Su finally understood. Li Chang'an didn't get the treasure from that palace because of his incredible luck. It's because he possesses this very same power. After a moment of contemplation, Wei Su said to the other three, "Let's join forces and focus all our power on a single point. Use your strongest techniques." Agreed, we were thinking the same thing. The three had no objections and planned to attack together. We'll shatter this illusion with absolute power. But the situation that followed was beyond everyone's expectations. They clearly joined forces to attack a single corner, yet their magic scattered in every direction, never converging. It was bizarre beyond description. Why is this happening? The three array masters grew increasingly anxious. They were about to join forces again. But soon, they discovered more abnormalities. "Something's wrong. Why do the three of you feel so far away?" "I have the same feeling." The four exchanged glances, their eyes filled with confusion and unease. They were clearly standing together, yet it felt as if they were separated by an immeasurable distance, an inexplicable chasm between them. One of them seemed to remember something and cried out in alarm. "Heaven and earth shifting, confusing profound mechanism. This is the technique of a Tier 4 divination grandmaster." "What?" Wei Su and the other two array masters were all deeply shaken. Any skill that reaches Tier 4 is enough to make a nascent soul true monarch take it seriously, and the divination skill is one of the most important skills of all. If this truly was a Tier 4 technique, then it was no wonder they were trapped. But Li Chang'an is just a loose cultivator at the early stage of Golden Core. How could he possibly possess such power? Wei Su took a deep breath, suppressing the shock and astonishment in his heart. There was no time to think about it now. "It seems I must use every trick I have, or my life will be on the line today." With that, he planned to take out all his trump cards from his storage pouch. But he suddenly froze. "My storage pouch." Wei Su's face stiffened. His storage pouch was gone, and he had no idea when it had disappeared. It wasn't just his. The three array masters' storage pouches had also vanished. Before they could even react, they were horrified to find that they had somehow appeared in the courtyard of Chang'an Mountain. "Welcome guests from afar. Please have a seat, you four Taoists." Li Chang'an wore a smile, his voice warm and gentle. In front of him, 4 storage pouches were laid out in a neat row, precisely those belonging to Wei Su and the three array masters. "Li Chang'an." Wei Su's face filled with killing intent. No longer able to suppress the frustration in his heart, his figure flashed as he charged straight at Li Chang'an. But that strange phenomenon occurred once again. He was clearly getting closer to Li Chang'an, yet the distance between them only grew. When he stopped, it was as if he had never moved at all. He was still in the courtyard, standing with the three array masters. An indescribable sense of powerlessness welled up in his heart. He possessed a high cultivation, but it was completely useless. He could only watch helplessly as Li Chang'an rummaged through his storage pouch. 1,000-year earth pattern ginseng. This is just what I need. Thank you, Taoist Wei, for bringing it to me. Li Chang'an smiled, and with a flash of spiritual light in his hand, an entirely earth-yellow treasure ginseng appeared. This ginseng had 4 small roots, like a person's limbs, as well as hundreds upon thousands of fine rootlets. Its entire body exuded the alluring fragrance of a treasure medicine. Da Huang's eyes lit up. With an eager, fawning expression, it came before Li Chang'an and wagged its tail. Li Chang'an chuckled. Don't be impatient, I still have a use for this. He put it away and continued to inspect the other treasures. As the saint child of the Yellow Sand sect, Wei Su naturally had many treasures in his storage pouch, but all the high-tier treasures bore the divine sense imprint of Xianxia, true monarch. Li Chang'an didn't touch them, only selecting a few ordinary treasures that he could use. The other 3 array masters' storage pouches also contained plenty of treasures, most of which were array materials. Your array treasures are quite good, I'll gladly accept them, Li Chang'an said to the 3 with a smile. Hearing this, the faces of the 3 men turned extremely ugly. Just a moment ago, they had said the exact same thing to Li Chang'an. In the blink of an eye, their roles had been reversed. One of them, unwilling to die there, said, Taoist Li, our statuses within the Yellow Sand sect are not low. If we all perish here, it will definitely attract attention. Why don't you let us go? I'm willing to swear an oath that I won't speak of what happened today. Right, I'm also willing to make a Tao hard oath. Taoist Li, I know you don't enjoy fighting and killing. Why attract the attention of the Yellow Sand sect over the likes of us? The other 2 quickly chimed in. They begged for mercy, while also trying to reason with Li Chang'an about the situation. Li Chang'an gave a faint smile. It's true that I don't enjoy fighting and killing, but since the 3 of you came knocking on my door, it would be a shame not to show my appreciation for your kind intentions. As for the Yellow Sand sect, Xianxia, true monarch, already has his eyes on me. A little more attention won't make a difference. Li Chang'an flicked his finger, sending out 3 rays of green light that condensed into wood seeds inside the 3 men's bodies. A moment later, the 3 of them were turned into puppets. Li Chang'an put the 3 of them away, leaving only Wei Su. Taoist Wei, how strong is your senior brother Gu Yunqi? What are his specific techniques?